great to watch, man. This is better than advertised.
Man, look, hey Jay, real quick, I gotta throw this in there. He's got your boy next to him, straight out of Portland. He's got Zach Collins. That's his partner now. But real quick, guys, I'm gonna throw these things out there. Points per game, Wemby leading the team at 19. Then you got a scripted defense. Rebounds per game, 11. Steals per game, Wemby 1. Blocks per game, Wemby 3. So he's all over the stat sheet. Now we gotta cover one more thing before we go on and move on to the next subject. And this is a tough one, and I'm pretty much coming off the cuff with this one, guys. My uncle Draymond Green has a problem.
Forgot about him.
I love Uncle Dre. First of all, let me tell you something. Okay, I'd not rather play dominoes with anybody else but my Uncle Draymond Green right about now. But what are we going to do? What is the Golden State Warriors going to do? What should they do? I got something I want to tell you guys after I hear your opinion. But Draymond Green right now suspended indefinitely, and of course the hearing is scheduled to start next week if he wants to appeal his indefinite suspension. He's reportedly taking up therapy. Do you guys think that the suspension was correct? Is it based on his track record? Was he really swinging for the fences at Nurkic? Jay, that's your boy. He trying to take him out now that he ain't in Portland. I mean, what do you guys feel about the Draymond Green situation? Alan, I'll start with you, bro.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be such a big deal if this wasn't a recurring theme with Draymond. Because it's been a recurring theme where he gets into altercations, he gets in players' faces. Sometimes he takes swings at them. The league was like, okay, we can't be having this. This is a negative image on the NBA. It's killing the integrity of the league in some regards. That's why the NBA is just like, okay, we're going to suspend him indefinitely, wait it out, see what he does. Does he go get help? Does he go get the things that he needs to take care of? And see if we can bring it back. Now, the question is, with it being Draymond, is he going to actually live up to his end of the bargain, go get him some help, and go get right? Or are people going to be like, there's not a shrink alive that could fix that hot mess? That's the situation we're in right now with Draymond. He could be out of the league, y'all. If he keeps this up, they might just say, hey, you're banned from the league. We don't want that kind of negativity for the league. It gives us a bad image. I know got the guys at Golden State. And what's up with Golden State? Why are we not hearing from these guys either? What's going on with Steph? Why is he not, trying to calm him down? Why are they just letting him go loose like this? That's what I'm wondering is why is Golden State allowed this behavior to continue without any sort of repercussions from the team? Why did the NBA have to step in to make this notion?
Jay, jump in real quick, man. I'm gonna tell y'all my opinion, my thought, man. Go.
It's some guys out there that I'm gonna be honest. I never intentionally tried to hurt anybody ever, and I'm not an NBA player, of course, but I never intentionally tried to hurt anyone. But I grew up. I grew up around a group of guys. When I was coming up playing basketball at the level that I played. When I did go to the courts on the weekends, I was gonna get beat up. I was pretty much had to make up my mind and program my mind that they were going to kick my ass and I was going to have to take it, and that was going to be my training until I was tough enough. So when I was actually in organized basketball, sometimes in practice, and I saw somebody going up for an easy basket, what I'm saying? No harm. Like, you're not hurt. Are you? You're not hurt. So guess what? It worked. But that was always my, we'll figure it out. Was it dirty if you're not hurt? You know what I'm saying? When you get up, you hurt? No? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I did what I was supposed to do. So That's how I always looked at it. And then there are some people out there that they got to get that extra. I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we meeting up. Okay.
Ron Artest. Ron
Right.
Artest. Anyone?
Yeah, it's just some people out there that they're looking exactly.
Wait. I'm sorry. Meta World Peace.
Meta
You know, like, hey, oh, I see who's in front of me. We had a problem, or I had a problem with him about this. It, and they take it. They put the extra oomph in there, and you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think this is the first time, and we're looking at, you know, Tanner, and he shouldn't come back.
Dang, Tanner.
So I was just about to say.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? And not saying that he's anywhere near this, but it kind of reminds me of what the league tried to do to Dennis Rodman in the 90s. And but then kind of like Michael brought him in as like, you know, can you coach him? You know, you always ask Phil Jackson, can you coach him? He's like, yeah, I can coach him. I think he just needs to be in the right environment. I don't think Golden State is the right environment for him.
I got you right here.
I really don't think Golden State right now, with the way that team's being run, with how it's kind of falling apart. Clay's not himself. Steph's not himself anymore.
So
I think the way that team is falling apart, that's not a good environment for him. But then again, it could be anything. Like you said, he might not even be in the league anymore if he continues this.
Hey, listen, this is my solution. And Alan brought up a great point. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. Maybe he needs a little bit of a different voice in his ear as far as coaching and surroundings are concerned. So this is my, you know what I'm saying, my magic crystal ball right here. So Draymond, he's gonna go talk and try to appeal. He's gonna get the appeal. He's gonna do like the 25 games. Very similar to John Morant, but he ain't got no pistol. Somewhere in there, I think you should take the future Hall of Famer and do him a favor. I think you should send him home to the Motor City.
Hold up.
Okay?
Wait.
Huh?
Wait.
Nah, man. I think you should send him home to the Motor City.
It makes perfect sense. Detroit's already a train wreck, so why not?
Put some picks together.
Future Hall of Famer.
Give Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey,
Future Hall of Famer.
Monte Morris. Let's put a package together.
Who's a future Hall of Famer?
Draymond Green. Draymond Green, a future Hall of Famer. Draymond.
Check this out. Yo, check this out. You know how old he's gonna be? Do you know how old he's gonna be if he makes it in the Hall of Fame?
He's gonna get in. They will not leave him out of
that. They are wheeling him in, bruh. They're gonna be wheeling him in. Did you just see that shit he just did?
Defensive player of the year and a cornerstone in the Golden State Warriors dynasty. They will put him in. But look, send him. That's what I said. Send him home. Let him go to Detroit. Put a package together. Let's give him 2 or 3 first-round picks. Let's give him some bodies. Killian Hayes, Jalen Duren. What do they need to go to State? No, I don't care. But send Draymond to Detroit, because this is what I was going to get to. I watched the interview on Showtime Basketball with my uncle KG. Shout out to KG, Big Ticket. And they were talking to Rasheed Wallace, and Rasheed Wallace was like, man, Draymond's friend, his uncle was in the VP room of the Detroit Pistons, and Draymond was the ugly kid who was chubby, who was in the room and playing basketball with us, and we would, passing the ball, but he would see how we would act. He would hear
MMA.
Yeah, he was here. He was like, he would hear Chauncey talk. He would hear me talk, and that was Rasheed Wallace. He would hear Ben get in Tayshaun Prince's face, and that is how he started playing basketball, just like the Detroit Pistons. So send Draymond home, man. Give him some respect. Give him some respect, and let him retire a Detroit Piston at the crib. What is it? What they call it? Sag Nasty, Saginaw, Michigan. Shout out to that, man. That's my two.
Nah.
Well, wait, I got two questions for you. One, who's your weed guy? And two, where can I find him? Because
Listen, that is it. Saginaw, Michigan. Send him home. Let him play for the Pistons, and he can retire. He can ride out at the crib. Give him some respect.
Nah, that'll be the worst. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Show him some
This
respect.
is not gonna happen for
Detroit's
him.
already a train wreck, so might as well.
He'll show him how to win. He'll say, hey, this is what we do in Golden State. Let me show you young boys how to win one season only. And if you try me in the locker room, I'm knocking you out. Period. Nobody gonna say nothing.
Nah, that'll be the worst thing ever, man. I'll be honest, it's not gonna happen this way, but after he's done with Golden State, he needs to just retire, man. I mean, I'm being honest, because in what other setting do you see him not freaking out, man, and knocking somebody the hell out just because they're losing? Like, dude, no, I want him to.
There is one scenario I could see, but I don't know how fans are going to take it.
Did you ever see what he said to Kevin Durant? He doesn't need to be around nobody he respects or that gets respect. He needs to be around kids that nobody respects. Okay, that's what he needs to do. That way he can be everybody's uncle. How about Miami with Butler? He will disrespect Jimmy Butler. He would send him to somewhere where there is no one.
I was going to say send him to the Lakers. Be with LeBron.
Nah. I mean, him and LeBron cool, but LeBron and AD is going to put him in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he needs to get put in the corner.
Nah, nobody puts baby in the corner. y'all don't know about that. Nobody knows about that. But look, man, quick last couple things. What you got going on as far as your week right here, Alan? Because we're getting into hour 2.
Well, of course, as we kind of already alluded to it, our Alcoholics Anonymous show tomorrow night as we do the NFC East roundtable tomorrow with Jay, myself, Chris, and the man Yorker himself. So that'll be an interesting show tomorrow. Saturday, got a couple things planned. We'll have Let's Talk Dallas Cowboys with the original crew, and we might be having guests join us as well. The one, Mr. Johnny Cruz, might be coming on that show. So we might get from both sides of this perspective, from both Cowboys and Dolphins in that show on Saturday. So that might be something to keep an eye on as well. And then, we'll see how the week plays out. If we have some big signings, like if Cody Bellinger signs, we might have a baseball show next Tuesday. So, you never know.
Hey, man. Well, look, man, once again, my guy, Alan, in the building, talking NBA. Make sure you check him out, the NFC East show. Jay, you on that show too, right? You going in on the Alcoholics Anonymous with the brand new show? So, Alan, thanks for coming on, bro. Oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of the NBA, prayers up for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Y'all know he's 7'4". He broke his hip at a concert. Y'all saw that? Yeah, Kareem, man.
That boy's too old to be at concerts anymore. He's too old to be at concerts.
I don't know what concert. Kirk Franklin. He looked like an Earth, Wind, and Fire guy to me. Like, for real. He looks really, Frankie Beverly and Maze.
I'm sure Scott knows. He might know what concert he was at. I'm not
Man.
And on that note, big shout out to Alan. Make sure y'all follow
Scott said Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift? Oh, snap. Make sure y'all follow my guy Alan on all major platforms. Alan, man, I appreciate you sliding through, bro. We're gonna have you back. You know that, man. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I like that.
Oh, man.
So I'm saying, Jay, Draymond, Hall of Fame. No Hall of Fame. You don't think?
You never answered this question about the weed, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll leave that alone. But
hey Jay, speaking of things that you could do when you're on fun medication, we got one of our favorite segments coming up, and I think you got something jazzy to do for it, man. Are you ready? Man, hit the button, Jay.
What button? What button we
I
talking about?
thought you was going to hit the button.
What button? We got no button.
Oh, man, no button? All right, okay. Yeah, you know what time it is, man. Each and every week, we got our favorite handicapper coming in, talking about those picks, and he's got 6 of them for us. So we're about to take it to the house with our guy, Sky Cole.
What's up, guys? First of all, Whit, don't take any advice from Botkins. He lost in the first round by 40 points this week in the LTS League.
Damn.
35. So don't take any
So
advice.
that's why he didn't defend what I just said. I
That's
said
right. Exactly. So if you look at his Twitter feed, he was talking trash to everybody in the league. And
what I want to see. What I want to see now is that video of him putting that damn belt in the UPS box, putting some bubble wrap around that shit. How about that video? We want to see that one.
Tanner said it was an Isley Brothers concert too.
It could very well have been. Yeah.
Oh man,
it could have been the Rolling Stones too.
Hey, listen. What's my guy? Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's a deadhead though. What's my guy? Bill Walton. Bill Walton and him kicking it at a freaking
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead concert. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, my fellow better. Whose birthday? Is your birthday, Scott?
Mine. Thanks, Tanner.
Yo,
Scott.
Thank you, Tanner.
Happy birthday, man. See,
this
is the thing. Man, happy birthday. Yeah, we should have had the button today. We had the button, man. You know what?
Wow.
You know what?
I'm just glad we got by the Let's Talk Cowboys and Thunder segment of the show tonight. Because
listen, we got a button for you. We've been working on it, Scott. So
okay.
Don't worry. Next week we'll get it together. So if you don't know, guys, this is one of our favorite segments where we bring in Scott Cole, who is also a feature on Nick Bodkin's show, and he handicaps some games for us from one of his favorite sports books. He's going to pick 6 games. Jay and I are going to listen to him. We're going to scratch our heads and try to figure out what the hell he's talking about and if we're going to go with it. So you got 6 games for us, Uncle Scott, on your birthday because we got to win this weekend because it's your birthday money.
Got 6 games, and then I got a bonus NFL bet at the end. So, and Tanner will like it. Game number 1, the Indianapolis Colts +1 at Atlanta. If we've seen Atlanta play this year against Carolina last week, awful. They're going back to Taylor Heineke again. The Colts are in a playoff push. Gardner Minshew's playing as well as he has the whole season long right now. And Jonathan Taylor should be back next week. So in that case, you got to take the Colts +1 over Atlanta. Atlanta's a dead team walking, so to speak. So we like the Colts this week. Game number 2, Tampa Bay +1 over Jacksonville. Tampa Bay's at home, going for a division title. Trevor Lawrence is in the concussion protocol. Don't know if he's going to play as of this point. We'll know more as the week goes on, but it doesn't matter if Trevor Lawrence plays. If you've seen Jacksonville play the last 2 weeks, they can't put the ball in the end zone. They can't stop teams. Lamar ran all over them. I have a feeling Mike Evans is going completely off this week. That's number 2. Number 3, the Rams, Thursday night, -4 over New Orleans. I have no confidence in Derek Carr on a short week. Going to L.A. to play the Rams, who are playing really good football. I love the Rams this week. I think the Rams are going to make the playoffs and might do some damage in the playoffs. So that's number 3. Number 4 is Detroit. They're only -3 against Minnesota. Minnesota blew that game last week. There's no way they should have lost to Cincinnati. And now Detroit's coming in 10-4, tied with Philadelphia, Dallas, and for first place, for number 1 seed in the NFC. So they got to win these games. So Detroit -3 over Minnesota. They win this week, they wrap up the NFC North. So that's number 4. Number 5, the Eagles blew the game last night against Seattle. They're coming home to play the Giants. Giants are not that good. If you stop Saquon, you stop that whole team. The Saints showed that. Saquon did nothing against them. They only scored 6 points. So I like Philadelphia. It's 11.5. It's a lot of points, but I still like them to win the game. they're going for number 1 or 2 seed, so they got to win out here. Last game, Buffalo Bills. Poor Allen got smoked by them last week. And here they go to the Chargers, who just lost to the Raiders 63-21. I think the Bills are on a major streak here. They're going to go into LA on Saturday night, and they're going to put a hurting on the Chargers. Chargers can't stop the run. James Cook just had 170 yards against the Cowboys, rushing. So I think that's going to happen again. Josh Allen doesn't have to do the Superman cape. He just has to play Josh Allen football, which is not turn the ball over and hand the ball off to James Cook. So I love the Bills this week. I think the Bills are going to win by 17 at least. And my bonus bet, the Chiefs right now are at 11.5 wins. They finished the season against the Raiders, Bengals, Chargers. If they win those 3 games, they win 12 games. It's plus 100 for them to go over 11.5. I love that bet. I already put it in. I think the Chiefs are going to run the table the rest of the year and go 12-5. So that's plus 100. It's double your money. So whatever you put on it, it's double your money. So I love that bet a lot. So those are my
obviously our guy Tanner of Let's Talk Sports.
He's with it.
Loves that bet too.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. The Bengals are the only team that the Chiefs have to worry about in these last 3 games. If they beat the Bengals, they're going to beat the Raiders. They're going to beat the Chargers. So no question in my mind, the Bengals game is the key to this, to do it. But if you wait until after this week's games, it'll be minus money. So you gotta do it now. So those are my 6 in bonus.
Look, how did we finish last time?
I don't remember how we did this week.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot. I tried to keep up with it. I will go back and
I will have it next week for you guys. How we're doing. I know we were 4-2 in week 1. I don't remember what we did last week. So
wow. Look, man. I mean, Scott, my thing is this. On your birthday, you come through and you bless us with some hitters. I like this one. I'm thinking about this Detroit that you talking about right here. That Detroit and the Colts, right? The Gardner Minshew is kind of making a point of saying, hey, all these guys can be starters. Maybe y'all can too. I like that one there for sure.
Yeah, and the thing with the Colts is they are now tied with Jacksonville and Houston for first place in the AFC South. So they have a lot to play for as well. They can win a division title and get a home game in the playoffs. And that's huge for them, where they won't have to be battling out. So if Jacksonville loses this week and Indy wins, Indy's in first place because Jacksonville's got the tiebreaker. So that's a big game for the Colts this week. And Atlanta is just a train wreck right now. They're just an absolute train wreck. So, I mean, I love that bet. I mean, I've already put these in because you're getting the Colts at plus points. You're getting the Tampa Bay Bucks at home with plus points against Jacksonville. If you find out Trevor Lawrence is out, say Thursday or Friday, that's going to switch to Tampa Bay as the favorite. So you always want to try to go early if you have a good feeling on it, and take the plus money. And that's what I did.
Tanner's got another question for you, big guy. He says, Scott, question, downs or no downs?
Downs, because if Pittman is out this week, Downs becomes the number 1 wide receiver in Indianapolis. If that's what he's talking about. Pittman is in the concussion protocol like Trevor Lawrence. As we all know, that if you're in a concussion protocol, you usually don't play the next week. The only guy that I know that have played the next week was Chris Olave in New Orleans. So if you're in that protocol, it's very hard to get out in time to play for that first week. Watch practice reports on Trevor Lawrence and Michael Pittman. If they don't practice Wednesday and Thursday, they're probably not going to play. There's not enough time to clear it. So,
all right, man. Look, we got even better. Start 2. Downs, Chandler, Elliott, Pickens, Flowers.
If there's no Alexander Madison, Chandler would be number 1 for me, and Downs would be number 2. I mean, Pickens, we don't know. He's hot and cold all year long. Tanner knows that too. He's been on him all year long. Zay Flowers is going up against San Francisco, and you don't know what's going to happen. We haven't seen Lamar have to come from behind to win games most of the time. And Ezekiel Elliott, we just don't know. Last week he should have balled out with the receiving yards, and he didn't. He only had 21. So we don't know from week to week what the Patriots offense is going to be. So, and I know full well being a Patriots fan. I mean, Zeke should have caught a lot of balls out of the backfield. He did not last week. So,
Right.
Man, well, look, Scott, I'm telling you, this one right here, this looks like one that we can take to the house. Y'all know what time it is. That's 6 Picks, aka the Pick Six, with my guy Scott Cole. And it's your birthday, bro. I mean, so like if we hit right, private jet to Boston. We going to Roxbury. Is that's I heard that's the hood. We go to the hood.
Yep.
We go hang out.
It is.
Okay, well that's what we're gonna do. Everybody, make sure you follow my guy SJCOBE1 on Twitter. He's got picks. He's got other shows. Scott, what else you doing this week?
We got the Let's Talk Sports show Thursday night. Tanner.
What?
Let's talk.
I don't know where this comes from.
No idea. Let's Talk Sports show. The picks show is Thursday night, so we're gonna be doing that. So everybody watch that for our picks against the spread every week, every NFL game. Myself, Nick, Sam, Johnny, and Tanner as well. And then it's Let's Talk Sports. It's basically Let's Talk Sports show the rest of the week. It might be a baseball show, as Alan said. Not sure. Depends on the signings in baseball. So we're looking at those two. And then the Scott Cope show maybe Thursday night with some prop bets. So be watching out for that.
Hey, man, put us in there. We will retweet you, my brother. We appreciate you. The genius, Scott Cope, ladies and gentlemen.
And by the way, before I go, Jay, I agree with you with a recipe thing. I don't like it.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Put some
Yeah,
Cheetos
man.
on the wings, man.
Nah, man. I guess you gotta try everything once, but
You do.
Nah.
Yep, you do. That's for
not
sure.
that.
Hot Cheetos. Don't do the regular Cheetos. Hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, put it in the blender, get it real fine, and then when you battering them,
Yep.
put them in there, pull them out after about a minute and a half, sprinkle a little more of that Cheeto dust on there. I'm telling you, it's a hit.
I'll try it. I'm not against trying it. So,
Hey, once again, everybody, my guy Scott in the building with the 6 picks and the pick 6. We dropping bombs on them like we always do, man. Holla at your boy, Scott.
All right, Scott. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Bro.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Man, we on the roll right now, man. We got the pick 6 going.
Before
We
we
got-
move on.
We got hot Cheetos.
Yeah. See, you got right back into it. Bro, I need to know, man, like what Alan, we still need to answer the Alan's question because that's what got you eating damn Cheetos and wings.
Hey, I'm telling you, look, let's I know a guy, you know what I'm saying? He lives on the West Coast, a place that rains a lot. We're gonna bring him on in, but we ain't gonna say no names. But for real though, we was talking about some picks just now. And we might as well go ahead and get into the weekend football, bro. Like, we got our favorite guy, our cousin from the West Coast, always ready to talk about them Hawks and even more. Let's get into it with our partner, Bo, from Football Talk with Bo. What's up, my guy?
What's up, gentlemen? How you doing tonight?
Bro.
Welcome to the show, Bo.
Happy
Welcome
birthday to Scott.
Yeah, he surprised us with that one. I thought it was a joke, but nah, it's really. I meant to ask him how old he was.
I think he's old enough. We got to get him some new tennis balls for his walker. I think he's that age.
Yeah, I like that. New tennis balls for the walker. Yeah,
I ain't even gonna lie, like that's crazy because after all the jokes I've ever heard about how old Scott is, we actually had him on the show on our birthday, and we did ask him how old he is.
Had no inclination to asking him how old he was.
Yeah, we dropped the ball. I don't care what we actually accomplished on this show. We dropped the ball, man.
We missed it.
We dropped the ball for real.
Oh man!
Wow.
But hey, Scott, drop it in the comments. How old do you think Scott is? Put it in the comments. If you get it right, we're gonna send you a Rec Room T-shirt.
We're not even gonna know. We're not even gonna know if someone gets it right.
We will fact check it for next week's episode and see what's going on. Bo, my guy, like always, we appreciate you when you come through, and we got some really, really great ideas to bring forth this time, right?
Okay.
So we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. The picture is starting to formulate. Somebody clinched in a division. I mean, but we might as well start there. So 49ers, talk to us about what happened this past weekend, my guy.
I mean, the Niners look like the best team in football. Like, if they're healthy, ain't nobody been able to hang with them, really. So it made sense that they clinch. The Hawks winning and beating the Eagles, and of course the Cowboys getting smacked. They make it almost so that the Niners can, next weekend or this coming weekend, they can clinch the number 1 overall seed. So it's the Niners look tough. They're not the team you want to meet in the playoffs.
Definitely not, man. I mean, we saw the beating previously when it came to taking on the Eagles again. I know I think Jay and I were talking during that game. It's like, man, it's a wrap. It happened, but it happened a little quicker. Jay, division leaders right now going into the playoffs, of course. When you think about what's happening thus far, what team is standing out to you in what division, man?
I mean, it's easy to say, what the Ravens and opposite what the 49ers are doing. But I would say, I mean, it's interesting to see, after watching the Ravens and the Jags play, man, and how much the Jags have pretty much declined, man, from where they were at the start of the season, looking so dominant, and especially on defense, to now just a regular team now, and in danger of losing the AFC South. That is kind of the Jags, but I mean, it's more of the teams that's just losing out. That's just not looking good for. The Bengals still have a chance, right? They're fighting for their lives, and that's amazing to see how Browning is coming along and where he's can't come from, and it's fitting for him to get a shot against the Vikings and tell them, like, you shouldn't have cut me, right? So
that was fantastic.
Right. I wish he did it on like camera instead of yelling at the bench. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he said it. He said, they shouldn't have cut me. And then he said,
they got it on NFL films. I'm sure they'll show it like at the end of the season.
You're right. Yeah, that would be fun to watch. But yeah, it's just not really the teams that have clinched or the teams that are dominating certain divisions and being at the top of the conference. But more so the teams that have that chance. We're gonna see the Texans possibly, Stroud coming back and trying to get in the mix back to the AFC South. Like, the AFC South is always, for some reason, whether the teams are terrible or the one team is great, they always balance each other out and back down to 0, and it's always 0-0. It's always a great division matchup, regardless of who's going against each other. Just I guess I'm fascinated with the AFC South division, because that one is the one that is probably the most up for grabs. And definitely that.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, when you're talking about the divisions, and teams that are not necessarily clinching, but one that stands out to me, and then this is in my own division, guys. I'm looking at the AFC North right now, bro, and the freaking Cleveland Browns are 9-5. Uncle Bo, what is going on with who the hell told Grandpa Joe he could still play football, man? What's going on with the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, the Browns have a good enough roster. They just needed competent quarterback play, right? I mean, so they weren't exactly getting that from Deshaun. He had one good game and then he got hurt, right? He finally played good football and got smacked. And then outside of that, they haven't had good quarterback play. So not to say the Flacco's good. I've never been a huge Flacco fan, but what he does do is he protects the ball relatively well. He's good for basically a pick a game, but he's good for a couple touchdowns a game, right? A lot of times that'll be enough to win, especially with the running game they have and the defense they have. So the only thing I can say on Flacco's front is kudos to him for hanging out long enough to show everybody that it's actually the Jets that just ruins quarterbacks. He wasn't that washed.
I was gonna get to that, but you put the nail on the head. We got Tanner with Flacco gives them competent. I think Watson gives them number 1 seed personally.
We haven't seen that though.
That's somewhere in there where we haven't seen it. Let's see.
If it was Texans, Deshaun, yes. I agree with that wholeheartedly. What we've seen from him from last year and through this year until he got hurt, he had one good start out of basically an entire year's worth of games. So I don't think that's still true. I think he spent too long away from the game.
I can feel you on that. I don't know what the equivalent to ring rust would be for Deshaun Watson, but whatever that is as a quarterback, I think he had a little bit of it.
Sure, especially being gone for 2 years, right? So he was out for one, and then he had his whole suspension and weirdness. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know too many things that I got better at not doing it for 2 years.
No, that's real. That's real right there. And of course, especially at the beginning of the season, where we're not going to go into what was going on, but I feel as though anytime I got to do, I love what I got going on with my situation in my home, but if I got to deal with several different situations and court and my money, I think that would be just a little distracting, just a little bit.
Well, and you also don't have any incentive bonuses, right? It's a fully guaranteed contract. So whether you come out and ball out or you kind of scrub it out, it doesn't matter. Your paycheck's the same either way. So it takes some of that, incentive to play well. Other than, just ego driven, like you want to be the best because you're out there. I mean, that's always going to be there. But he doesn't have that payment, like Flacco, right? He got an extra $76,000 for winning.
Right.
Like, that's a cool bonus. Like, if I won a game, they're like, here's $76K. Like, yeah.
Thank you. Let's get another W. I
Right?
feel you on that one. Something else that stood out to me, especially over this weekend as I look at some divisions, and I think I talked to Jay about this one too over the weekend. Let's give some love to my guy, man. Baker Mayfield out here putting up perfect passer ratings in Lambeau, the first to do it. Right now Tampa Bay, they sitting at 7-7, looking at 500. They're on a 3-game win streak. Are we tripping? Is this another situation where Cleveland kind of fumbled the bag and then LA had it for a little bit? It's like everybody's passing Baker Mayfield around or something. But right now in Tampa Bay, is it possible they can take this somewhere, or is this we just seeing a little bit of nothing?
I mean,
Everybody passing Baker
it's
well.
it's Baker. Like he's going to throw the perfect game, and then next week he's going to have a 50 QBR.
Dang.
And I don't even know who they play offhand, but it's just Baker. Like that's how wildly inconsistent he is. So I mean, like when he's on, you watch it and you're like, that's that guy. Right. And then he turns right around and will throw 3 picks and look horrendous. And you're just like, what happened? And it's not even necessarily that he'll play a really good team to do it. He's done it against horrible teams that he just comes out and you're just like, what? Who is this guy? Like all
they
of a
got
sudden,
Jacksonville.
They got Jacksonville this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have a good
So
shot.
that's-
They have a good shot because I do like Tampa's defense better.
Now this is the curveball that Jay brought it up. They got Jacksonville on Christmas Eve, but Jacksonville actually does better away from home than at home more recently. So it's a possibility we could go in there. Now of course, Jay is on the NFC East show, but when we look at the NFC East right now, we got the Cowboys with their last loss, the Eagles with their last 3 losses, Giants with a loss. Commanders with a loss, and Jay want to talk about the Commanders a little bit. I mean, no, Jay, no, okay, all right. So in the NFC East right now, man. I mean, where should I put where can I put my faith in this division?
Oh, you can't. You can't. Like both these teams are backing into the playoffs. So with the Eagles, they're starting to lose the games they were able to sneak away with wins with earlier in the year, right? And the Cowboys, as I recall, it's December, right? Like I don't care what their record is coming into December. Once December hits, and then January, like they're already Cabo on the mind. They're ready to pack it in. Mm-hmm. So until they prove me wrong, that's the vision I have for the Cowboys. And it's funny because I made a comment similar to that, and I got some pushback from it. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're comparing it over so many different years," and so my response to it is like, "Well, didn't they go 12-5 the last 2 years and flame out immediately as soon as that's not a different regime. That's this team with this coach." Mm-hmm. Last year was these players, right? Like this isn't a different regime. This isn't 20 years ago. This was the last 2 seasons, right? So, definitely. I mean, we can go back 20 years if you want because it's still true. Hey. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in either team that's at the front. Now, both of them did well enough early in the season. They're both going to get in. So, I mean, that's not the issue. They'll both get in there. I just don't know how effective they're going to be because the Eagles have some obvious holes. And the Cowboys, despite a roster that should win, kind of get in their own way once it becomes this time of year.
I dig that. We're just gonna keep it going, go division to division. So we throw it to Jay on this one, man. Jay, when we talk about the NFC North, we got Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago. And right now, of course, Detroit at the top, 10-4, just won their last game, 5-2 at home and 5-2 away, so they could do a little bit of either one. Jay, when you think about those 4 teams, man, I mean, what's really standing out to you going forward? After the Christmas break.
Well, I mean, you got Minnesota and you got Minnesota and Detroit going up against each other twice in 3 weeks. So, of course, not being able to match up early, you got the Vikings that I would say probably at their healthiest that they will probably be in a while, hopefully, going into the next matchup and then possibly the last matchup. It's kind of, we're about to see a little bit of dog eat dog or cannibalism in this division because you still think, with Detroit being where they are, you still think Green Bay has a little something to say. With Christian Watson coming back, they might be able to put something together for, a win. But I mean, it's Detroit. And the thing that kind of bothers me about Detroit is I just want them to be playing their best ball at the end of the season because I don't want Detroit to end up being that team. Is always that team that double-digit wins, goes into the playoffs, out. You know what I mean? And that's it. And before you see it coming, they down 28, 3 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And it's over before you know it. So I don't want them to be that team. I want Detroit to play with the same fire that they've been playing and be getting through games with and getting to some of these victories with. So
I mean, everybody's beat up. Come on.
yeah.
I mean, Mahomes
Shout out to
won.
Bottom Line Sports for joining in. What's going on, people?
Oh no, for sure. But Mahomes won a ring with a leg that he was hobbling around on and couldn't get all of the power behind a throw. Like, what are we talking about? Everybody's beat up by the end of the year. If you're on the field, you got to produce.
Listen,
Right.
I don't know who this James Donnelly guy is, but I'm gonna put this up here. Please do not read it out loud, gentlemen. Just read it slowly. Read it slowly to yourselves. Don't read it out loud.
Wow.
Now somebody, I know you did this before, James. I was on another show. Somebody made the comment that we would have had your mom on the show. I didn't. I don't know who that was, but I remember this comment. That's how I remember somebody else said it. I didn't say it, but they was like, "Yeah, your mom could have got on the StreamYard and told us all about that quarterback." But anyway, as we continue on, we're gonna move on to a division that always has a question mark around it, so to speak, guys. We got the AFC West. Now, Tanner's somewhere in there. And of course, we gotta go Kansas City, Denver, Vegas, Chargers.
Yep.
I mean, right there at the top, it's a little bit of parity because although the Broncos just took a loss, the Chiefs just had a funny win, in my opinion. It was one of those funny wins. What are we thinking about in this space right here? Are we thinking more the Chiefs are about to, start that incline? Because if you heard Scott, the extra bet was Chiefs double-digit wins. I mean, so are we saying that there's definitely 2 to 3 wins coming up for the Chiefs, guys? Or are somewhere in there, are the Broncos going to just creep their way on in there with Russell Wilson cooking? I mean, what you guys thinking?
No, so the Broncos will go however far their positive turnovers take them. So if you watch the Broncos play, the problem with the way they play is if they get turnovers, they can win. As soon as they don't, their offense doesn't go on long drives. Like, as much as people talk about Wilson's completion percentage and all of that's great. But when you look at yardage totals, even when he's having 3 touchdowns or whatever, it's because of where they're getting the turnovers, because he'll still finish the game with 180 yards or 210. Like, it's not like they're driving the field, right? If they can get the ball in plus territory, they can punch it in. But if they have to beat someone straight up, they lose.
Jay, what's your take on the AFC West, especially up at the top?
Trash. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, this is, man. They've been letting me down for years, man. And what I mean by that is, of course, you got championships out of them recently, but man, I remember when I would say the Raiders were at their best in recent years. Those are some pretty intense games. When the Chiefs still had Tyreek Hill. But now it's like you're expecting so much.
No, this is exactly
yeah, of course. But it's just, it's terrible to see the Chargers, start off like world beaters in the beginning. Everybody's picking them to give, the Chiefs some type of trouble. You got Herbert coming off of his contract, and he's about to show why he earns the money, and it's like this year has been even stronger narrative than in the past, because they paid Bosa. They paid Bosa. At some point in time they did get Derwin James, and they put a lot of money out there, and it's not formulating in anything. And so I mean, as far as the AFC West goes, it's just it's just the Chiefs pretty much to win, and then how do they go into this game, because they're going against the Raiders, which a game that they just lost, correct? So do they go into for my ego, if I'm a Chiefs player, I don't want to just squeak by the Raiders. You know what I mean? This is not much for my confidence if we go into an overtime game with with the Raiders. You know what I mean, and possibly lose this game like this. You know, let's hold the horses on them winning the division. Yeah, they win the division, but how are they going into the playoffs is the question. They can win the division all they want.
The thing that's funny is they're actually going to look decent because their next 3 matchups are all backup quarterbacks.
Wow, backups.
So, I mean, everything leans towards them being fine through this process, right? They have the Raiders, right? They got O'Connell, you know. They got the Bengals, so they got Browning. Now, Browning's been balling out, so, you know, can't hit him.
Browning's balling.
That being said, you know, it's Mahomes versus a backup. So, you know, let's keep it in perspective, right? And then you got the Chargers, right? Herbert's done for the year. So it's not like the path is exceedingly difficult for them to run the table the rest of the way. Now, does that make me feel different about them? No, because although their defense is much better than it's been over the past years, they don't have the firepower on offense. And really, any game that Kelsey is not having his best game, they struggle because he is their main target, especially since Tony has the same odds of catching the ball as handing it to the opposing team. So, like that one he dropped, he literally like popped it up and was like, here you go. So I mean, unfortunately, he just doesn't have the weapons around him this time. Now, could they pull it together? Sure. You got Mahomes, you got Kelsey. Maybe Tony can figure out how to catch the ball a couple games in a row. I don't know. But as far as getting through the next 3 games, sure. Now, can that have a positive effect in the playoffs? Sure. Anytime you have momentum on your side, it helps, right? Mentally, it helps. So, I mean, once you get in, right, if Eli Manning taught us anything, once you get in, anything can happen. Right? Like you can be the most average dude ever, have a decent defense, come in as a wild card and run the table. Like you can do it. So, you know, don't count them out if they get in. But I don't feel confident that this team has a good run in them just based on what they lack on offense.
I can agree on
I would
that.
really ask. I mean, as a quarterback, I'll be honest. I would take Tony out to, you know, and I hate to go to like a gentleman's club. I swear this is not the only place that I know to have fun. I promise y'all, that's like not the only place I have fun. But
you didn't say it for James Harden this time, Jason. You saved it for the second hour.
Yeah, like just bond with him, man. Show him a good time. You know what I mean? Show him a good time.
That doesn't
I guarantee you got to try something.
True.
You know, you find him, you know, some great entertainment for the night that might help his confidence. You understand what I'm saying?
You were just trying to get him hung over so he didn't show up to the game.
That's a good one.
Either or. It depends how Mahomes looked when he hit the bench. I would say that the latter will definitely be, you know, getting them hung over. That's for sure. But you know, just, you know, it's sad to see. This is weird to see, but it's kind of sad because we're gonna be looking at some playoff teams that either this is gonna be up and down the field, a type of playoff games where it's gonna be no defense, or like some teams are gonna be getting smacked.
This is a smacked season, I think. I can agree with you on that one.
So, you know,
let's hope. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny because some of the teams coming in with really not good defense, right? Like the Jags are going to get in, whether they win their division or not. There's just not enough games left for them to miss the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though they're kind of playing bad going in, they're still going to get in. The problem is the offense is pretty dynamic. The defense is suspect, right? And the Dolphins, very similar, right? They can put up all the points, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But they can't get stops when it matters. Now, for the Jags and the Dolphins, it's not like statistically they're the worst defenses in the world, but situationally they're not great.
Hey, listen, this one right here is a quandary for us, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Now we did the AFC South a little bit. Talking Jags, Colts. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Tennessee's not where I wish they were, not what Sam would want them to be, of
Yep.
course. So let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and say the AFC East, of course, right? We got Miami and Buffalo. Right now, Miami at 10-4, Buffalo 8-6. We're not even gonna speak on the Jets or Scott's New England Patriots. We'll just let those two rest for right now because we address them every week in their mediocrity. But the Dolphins and the Bills, two teams who have seemed to find that elixir that sometimes escapes them in the last 2 weeks. We know the Bills put the spanking on the Cowboys, the Dolphins, what I'm saying, pulled one out when everybody was thinking, oh no, Tyreek Hill is not going to do it. And it works out. When we thinking about the AFC East guys with these top two teams, of course, somebody's got to figure out a way to kick somebody else out further down the bottom, especially with these two. What are we thinking about competition wise with the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, fellas?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins still end up winning here. The Bills have fallen just a little bit too far behind with what's left, right? That being said, the Bills have finally figured out how to play football over the last 4 weeks, and so they're averaging like 30 points a game. So they've been good to watch, right?
My bad, man. My bad. I'm trying to speak positivity into light sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Bo. Go ahead.
But I do think the Bills can sneak into the playoffs, right? I mean, because 2 weeks ago we weren't even really sure if that was even an option, right? They had lost some games. They really hadn't looked good. But then over the last 4 weeks, like they've really started to turn it on. I mean, and in that time they lost one of the games, but it went to overtime. They still put up 30 points, right? So I mean, it's they're playing a much better brand of football than they were kind of mid-season.
Jay, when we thinking Bills, Dolphins, AFC East, that's still kind of around your stomping grounds a little bit. What are we thinking about?
It's a two-team race, just like you said it before, but this is one of the best. I mean, I would say this hasn't been as exciting of an AFC East. Can you imagine the fact that we've seen so much dominance out of the Patriots? But how long has it been since we said it's up to more than one team? Like this division actually, but so this is weird because man, when we're talking about the Bills and Dolphins matchups from the early '90s, man, I'm talking about Bryce Pop, talking Bruce Smith, talking Dan Marino, talking so
Jim Kelly, yeah,
these is definitely this is great, man. When it's coming down to man, it's sad to say the Jets could have been in the mix, but this is very exciting seeing the Bills and the Dolphins pretty much going trying to as far as the Bills is trying to get in, and of course the Dolphins holding their own. They pretty much smacked the team that in the Jets that we at least thought that they would have some type of trouble in this game, and I mean they didn't do anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
like they took them out, man, and without Tyreek, which you would think from what you saw when they went to McDaniel and Tua answering questions on how pretty much perplexed they look without Tyreek Hill, and then here you are now you smacking a good defensive team. I'm saying pretty much make an example out of them, and then showing pretty much making an example out of the offense as well, not really letting them score. So This is going to be exciting, man. I think the Bills are getting hot. I hope this is like a running game. Because I'm going against a guy who actually has the Bills on like almost every Bills player on his fantasy team. So I'm hoping this is one of those games that they win on all phases instead of just the offense just bombs away. Um, so this is definitely gonna be exciting to see, man. I just like I said, man. Even with the dominance that the Patriots have been exemplifying, you have the Dolphins and the it's like I'm not used to saying other teams in the playoffs right now or in the playoff hunt, but you have the Dolphins and the Bills, and again, like I said, this is something that's kind of close to me, being a native New Yorker and seeing, the Bills and the Dolphins going at it, time and time again. That's I'm trying to remember what was the tackle's name for the Dolphins, but seeing Bruce Smith twice a year, that's no fun.
No
Seeing
fun.
him in Buffalo, and seeing him in Buffalo at that, what I mean, is not cool. Being in Miami, coming from Miami, but yeah, like I'm thinking that the Dolphins, this is gonna be tough to call, man. Like who's gonna come out in the end and pretty much be the team to pretty much be the most dominant team in the division. It's gonna be hard to say, man. Jury's still out. Jury's still out.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this one, sometimes, Jay and I, we throw alley oops even in football, and so this one is an alley oop for you, Bo. Last night, oh, what a glorious night for Hawks fans. Talk to us about what took place Monday Night Football, man. A great game, in my opinion, for a Monday night game. Between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw earlier our guy from Bottom Line Sports said what happened to, of course, make Drew Lock start. What happened to Geno Smith? Like, kind of get into that because I know that's your wheelhouse right there. Tell us how you feel about that Hawks win from last night, bro.
Yeah, so to answer his question about Geno, he's still dealing with the groin injury and wasn't able to get enough on the football. So he just wasn't quite enough power on the ball. And so they ended up sitting him. He did do the walkthrough in the Thursday morning. He did the day of practice on Thursday. Still wasn't quite right. He was questionable right up until game time and ultimately just wasn't a go. Now, when it comes to that game, it's a fantastic game, right? Like it was a tight battle all game. The calls kind of went either way, right? It was pretty balanced. Bad, but we expect that from the rest at this point. But so it was a pretty balanced game in that way. So really, where the Eagles lost this game was on that final score, and I don't mean lost it because they scored, because obviously. But where they lost it was because they made their change at DC. They have Patricia making the calls, right? Now, if you've played football, right, you have a backup quarterback. You have a beat-up O-line. You're under 2 minutes. They have to score a touchdown, right? This is a scenario you're put together with. Now, you don't have to be a defensive genius to think that, maybe I won't play a single high safety, right? Maybe I'll stack safeties and I'll keep everything in front of me and make you burn all your time because you have one timeout. Because if I can keep you in bounds and I can keep everything short, you don't have the option to kick a field goal, right? And you don't have all the time in the world. So instead, you do a single high safety on a play that you got burned on earlier in the night by DK, right? So obviously single high wasn't working great anyway because Seattle has a ton of speed. So you want to tell me on a final drive when everything is set up for you to essentially not play prevent, because I hate that defense, but play smart defense. You decide, you know what? We're just going to throw one guy back there, hope it works out against two of the fastest receivers in the league. I mean, you're out of your mind. So Drew throws a nice ball. They get the score. It's a wrap from there. But that really falls on your defensive coordinator, because you could have called smarter defenses in that scenario.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I'm thinking about you the whole time, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, the first time was crazy.
Yep.
And then you go to the opposite side of the field. It's like, nah, that's not. There's a second guy coming, right? And that was beautiful, man. Like to see that whole game unfold like it did, man. That was amazing, man.
I was sitting there before it was snapped. I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Because that other safety was cheating. So you're just like, there's no way they're going to do this. And then they did. And, around the outside, JSN takes off. You're just like, oh, there it is. As long as Locke doesn't overthrow him.
Yeah.
And he threw it perfect, man. I mean, he threw it so perfect.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. From JSN's release to how he came out of that little, bend, so to say, and how he released that, man, and got it to him right there. It was amazing, man. And just asking him how to explain it. It was like, how emotional he was and how he was trying to break it down. It's just something that I hope I get to see on a commercial one day, man. Well, and be honest, man, because that was amazing, man. To come that drive, you would think when it hit those 3rd and 10s, when it got to those 3rd and 10s, you were like, okay, yeah. this is it, because
Seattle's bad on 3rd down. Like they are,
right.
They're a sub 30% team. Like it's crazy.
That was definitely something the commentators were talking about. They were like, yeah, Seattle's known to throw 6 yards when they need 7. I was like, give them a chance.
Yeah. Well, no, like last week, prime example, they were 2 of 11 on 3rd down, right? Like they just, and that's how they've been all season. Like they just really don't convert on 3rd down very well. So now, granted, the Eagles are the worst at defending 3rd down in the league. So, it basically, that is like a stormtrooper shooting at a Star Trek red shirt, right? Every shot missed, but somehow he still died. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, kudos.
That was a great analogy. If you caught that one, you can hang with the gang. Okay,
yeah, that's continue. Right. You got to be a little bit of a nerd, but it's all right. But yeah, I mean, they got it done on 3rd down, which is something they hadn't been able to do most of the season. So, I mean, that was actually a huge reason that that final drive even worked to set up that final throw. But that right there, that last sequence, that's what lost the game for the Eagles.
Definitely. Hey, look, and everybody knows me. I'm one of those. I'm a sucker for a victory story. Everybody knows, man, Drew Lock drafted really highly by the Denver Broncos in the middle of that turmoil where they couldn't get, offensive coordinators and coaches. And, it kind of, everybody always says, you got to draft players with a good coaching staff in mind or a good offensive coordinator so they can be in tandem. Drew Lock, I want to say, went through 2 or 3 OCs and 2 coaches. So it didn't work out for him. He ends up in Seattle. Almost really similar to a guy that we know who starts for the Seattle Seahawks, and Geno Smith. And he gets a chance to win the game. I like that right there. And then, of course, man, hey, guess what, Jay? We get to say Jackson, Smith, and Jigba, and Joe's not on the show. Shout out to Coach Joey in the Ohio alumnus out there. Now, real quick, guys, we're getting closer to the end of the second hour. I got 2 really good questions I want to throw out there, and they're both coaching questions. Real talk, okay? So, 1, what the F is Bill Belichick going to do if he ain't the coach of the New England Patriots? Because for the reports are that they're planning
Puzzles.
on. Who knows if they really need
Puzzles.
puzzles?
Puzzles. He's gonna have like the biggest puzzle ever in the middle of his mansion. You know what I mean? Where somebody's gonna walk in and talk to him about coaching the team, and he's going, "Well, don't walk any further. My whole living room's a puzzle.
So
I'll call you when I'm done."
Right.
So you're saying he's someone's grandma now? He's got plastic on the furniture, everything. That what we're doing?
Those dogs they always show on camera. That's going to be his main focus, I think.
Yeah, no, there's no way. He coaches somewhere. Just ego alone isn't going to let him quit because he's 15 games away from the record.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
So there's no way he doesn't end up coaching somewhere. What's funny is you could see a weird scenario where, because you're starting to hear more and more calling for Tomlin's job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Tomlin clears out and probably goes to the Panthers, because you got to remember the owner there was a partial owner of the Steelers, right? So that'd be the first phone call, right? They'd be like, "Hey, why don't you come work for me?" And then all of a sudden, that Steelers job could look enticing to Bill. So that would be interesting. Now, him moving is going to be weird because they own the coaching rights, right? So somebody's going to have to give up a draft pick for him. So I mean, there's a lot of weird scenarios that have to happen for him to go anywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be weird to not see Belichick on the sideline for the Pats, though.
Hey, I definitely agree with you on that. Hey, and this one right here, and I want both of you guys' opinion on this one for sure. Now, when we look at this division that we already talked about, the AFC West, right? Mm-hmm. I've got some whispers, some murmurs going on about, some college coaches. We can't really, speculate because, you can't get in trouble for that these days. But possibility college coach, a really high-ranking college coach who didn't play for 6 games for a team that's somewhere in Ann Arbor is possibly going to try and get to one of these teams. But Jay and Bo, which coaching prospect looks better in y'all's minds between the Las Vegas Raiders and the LA Chargers position? And Jay, I'll let you go first on this one.
Harbaugh. I mean, is the man I would say. I'm sorry, man.
You let the cat out the bag, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know what you were talking about anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah, well, yeah, it's a possibility.
I just think, it's NFL. He wants to teach. I think it didn't work out the way he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He just did some things that, you can go back to these freaking trips to Paris and all these other crazy places. Like, dude, playing football there. No. So what we doing? So.
Oh, you freeze?
Jay, I think Jay got a little.
Hey, I made a drink real quick. All right, made a drink. So, no, but seriously, when you're going from the college ranks back to, grown men, it seems like he's still a leader of grown men. I would say the Chargers, because, he's anybody, basically, you're starting off with a top tier quarterback. The jury is still out. I'm not saying that Austin Eckler has lost a step, but this has been his worst season ever. Since like his one is, So, you still have to analyze what's going on around Justin Herbert, what's going on with his defense. Oh my gosh, like even when they brought in J.C. Jackson at one time, and then now, he's not here, and it didn't work out, or whatever the case may be. Like, where are we going? You got, you got Khalil Mack. He's out here getting sacks again, and the team is not winning. Like, it's the Bears all over again. So, like, what's going on? So I would say the Chargers because, from the facilities to the building that they play in to, just, the roster that they have, they're going to be in cap hell at some point, trying to either dig their way out of this from kind of backing away from some of these commitments, or there you go, spending more money to, try and get some draft capital. And, it's definitely, it's going to be looking tricky for them. And this reminds me of like the Saints after the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And this, when you got Drew Brees, you still got to pay him. And, still when he wants to stay, it's like, damn, you want to stay? Shit. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point where, like, we got the Super Bowl out of you. We don't want to pay you no more. So just come with it. You retiring. So, like, that's I see cap hell for the Chargers coming, but it definitely definitely a better situation. The Raiders is just as good. It's just that you got a whole lot to work with as far as work to do on the offensive end. You're going there to coach the team. You're not going there to create attractions. You're not getting Wu-Tang Clan. To come to you're coaching the team. You know what I'm saying? So, Las Vegas looks enticing, but when it comes down to winning games, like, you hope Pierce can get one more season, see what happens, because with what they have out there, it's going to take another season to start building around them with the guys that they have now.
Bo, which one you think, man? Vegas or the Bolts for the best coaching position opening right now?
Oh, for him, it's definitely going to be the Chargers, because on the Raiders end, you don't really know what they have at quarterback. Are they really going to continue with O'Connell? Who knows, right? There's a lot of question marks as far as what that team is going to be. And I think Antonio Pierce has done enough to get the chance to be that head coach that starts at the beginning of the year. So I don't think it's going to be that. But then when you look over at the Chargers, they have enticing pieces, right? They have Herbert. They have pieces that would want to draw a coach in. They also obviously don't love their coaching staff in general as it sits. So Harbaugh will be free to bring in his own people, because when Staley was getting fired, you naturally assumed that Kellen Moore was going to be the interim head coach. Like, I was saying that way earlier in the year. I was like, oh, Staley's going to get fired. Kellen Moore's going to be the dude. Instead, they elevate Giff Smith, their linebacking coach.
Right.
I have no idea who this guy is. Maybe he's going to be no idea, but I have no clue who the dude is. So, but what that means is either they don't believe in Kellen Moore, or Kellen Moore didn't want the job.
Ooh.
Right? It's really the only two scenarios that allow that to happen. So, because you have an OC that can't beat out a position coach, like that doesn't seem right. So this one seems kind of, I mean, if nothing else, your position coach should have been your new DC, right? Because Staley was their DC. So in firing your head coach, you lose the DC at the same time. So you needed to elevate somebody into that DC role. But instead, now he's the head coach. Kellen Moore gets passed over or didn't want it. In either scenario, that's probably not your OC next season, right? So if you're bringing in a new head coach, you're bringing a whole new staff.
Man, listen. I tell you what. This one right here is a conundrum and a quandary in itself. Definitely when it comes to what's going to happen with the LA Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm trying to get us on a plane so me and Jake could go look at the Sphere from from one of these hotel rooms, man. That's all I'm trying to do. And then the next, and Bo, I can't lie to you, bro. I'm one of those people, man. I click on those pictures of that lake and that coffee cup, bro. And I'm like, where does Bo live? Like, what is he doing? Literally, like, do you take cold plunges in the morning? Is that what you do?
Oh, hell no. No. No, as soon as I didn't put cleats on my feet, I didn't get in ice baths anymore.
I'll be like, God damn, that is beautiful. We got to go to the West Coast, Jay. That is the plan.
It is a pretty area, man. Come out anytime. We'll have a beer. It'll be fun.
That's what's up. Hey, man, look, we made it through the second hour. Once again,
wait.
I got Bo. What's up? Go ahead.
I'm not coming that far to drink a beer. Okay?
No.
I got you, man. I'm just letting you know. Fresh. Like before I get off the plane, I'm coming there to drink more than a beer. Tell them Whit.
No, we're using guy math. A beer is never a beer.
Right. Thank you. I'm not the only one. As people make me out to be.
There, the infinity sign. And, right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. No, nobody says a beer with the thought of a beer. Or if they do, like, we're probably not hanging out. But
right. And listen, these pubs you're going to on Roku TV, we're going bar hopping. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
the truth.
Absolutely.
So,
well, remember when you're drinking, right? As a kid, what were you taught? Buddy system. You know what also needs buddies? Your beers. They gotta have. That's why they come in packs of 6 or 12 or 18, right? They get lonely.
Yes. See, this is where we begin to make plans in 2024 to head to Washington State. I love it already. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what time it is. Our guy, Bo, from Football Talk with Bo. Don't forget, hey, Bo, tell them where you're at again, because you're international. What you got going on for the rest of this week, bro?
Yeah, so for the rest of the week, we got the Wednesday wrap-up. Let's see, we got the Pick'em Show on Thursday and Hawk Talk on Friday. Those are all on the Roku channel and, of course, on my YouTube at Football-Talk. And then I'm guest on numerous other shows. So it's a busy week. Busy week, man. Hey, look, Bo, we appreciate you. Thank you. We're not going to see you till after the New Year. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, my brother. All right. And thanks again.
Happy holidays, Bo.
Make sure you follow my guy, Football Talk with Bo. He will be back in the new year on the RecRoom Sports Show. And, man, I'll tell you what.
More time.
Hey, man, we got to go, Bo. We out. We appreciate you, bro. Man, did we talk? Was it everything? Did we?
Yes, man. I don't know. I mean, it was flawed, man. I mean, there a lot of, we could talk about a lot of teams that are terrible, man. With the Falcons losing to the Panthers, man, which was very disappointing to a lot of a lot of Falcons fans.
About 35 Panthers fans were there. Maybe 52 is an odd number.
Yeah. But so many teams, man, are terrible. There are so many teams that you're going into this draft this season. It's going to be exciting once again when you go into the NFL draft because, of course, everybody needs something. So it's I guess we covered it all, man. From pretty light, going into the holiday season, man, and we're going to enjoy these games and with the rec league, we're going to be enjoying watching somebody win the championship, not necessarily us. We're actually, I don't want to be last place. I hope you feel the same way. I don't want to finish in last. So here we are going against each other, not trying to finish in last place with this week. So, good luck to you. Believe it or not, we are in good shape. Hold on, I'm number 8. You're number 7, correct?
I'm 7.
Okay, so neither one of us could lose. Could really be in last place. You know what I mean? It's either Allen or Trey.
Yeah, Allen or Trey.
And Trey, which is last year's winner. And like I said, I didn't situate this correctly, but I'm just gonna still throw it up there, so that you see, go ahead and take that football talk off with ball right there. Um, it was tough, man. It was tough for some of us, man. You know, but as you see, Cheat Code, which is our last year's winner, the Super Bowl winner, he's in last place. You know what I mean? Um, but just to round up some things, man. I mean, we pretty much talked about everything. I kind of, I forgot to do what I was supposed to do with the with the picture here, but since we're still split up, um, one of my leagues, show us your TDs, uh, and that's our final standing right there. We got DJ Zone 6. We know where he's from when he calls himself Zone 6, boy. I tell you, man. Okay. Eastside's very own DJ, man, at Zone 6. But there I am in second place, man. But shout out to everybody in that league. Last year's winner, which was Latoya, which is LSPC. She brung it last season, man. She brung it, and she was out in the first round of playoff this season. But hey, man, like I said, shout out to everybody in that league. And then that's what our semifinal looked like right there. We got Zone 6, man, Derek, man, and of course, Zone 6. Need I say more? Zone 6 against SE Dogs. Two dogs going against each other to play in the championship. And then here I am going against a guy that need I say more, man? Team Neil. He must go. He must go off. And then last but not least, man, our Top Shotters League, man, which is I say our most competitive league, one of our best leagues, man, my best league that I'm in. Of course, man, I fell short again. To this time, your boy 803, which is Gabe. And then once again, you got Team Neil right behind me in this league as well. And you got Treg in the playoffs, man. OG Gamers. The great one, Marcus, and your boy Lowell is Beast Mode number 5. The great one, Marcus, at number 6. And sad to say, your guy, Freeport, down there at the bottom. SC Bombers, 3-11, man. Only scored 6.
That's what he would say.
Go Dogs, right? Go Dogs, right? So yeah, that's not so much this year. And this is the semifinals. Going into this for the Top Shotters League. Once again, I see the same person in this playoff as well, which is Team Neil. As you see, his team is none other than the most lost Super Bowls in the history. No, I'm joking. But Bill's logo. But yeah, man, we pretty much covered everything, man. Great show. Appreciate Alan, appreciate Bo, appreciate Scott for stopping by. Scott, man, I got you. I'm telling you, I got you, man. Scott, you gonna come back on and you're gonna be like, damn, man. Y'all did this for me?
You did it for me?
Yeah, man, it's all for you, man. Scott Cole, man. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody for stopping by. Again, appreciate you with, man. Going into the which is this is actually our break, right? So
yeah, we're going on break after this. So you gotta tell everybody like what's on your Christmas wish list for Rec Room. What we want. One thing you want for the Rec Room.
Yeah. What I want for the Rec Room?
Yeah, what we want for the Rec Room, bro. Santa Claus.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Well, what I actually want for Rec Room, man, going in 2024. Of course, we're gonna do another show before the year is out. But man,
thanks, Tanner.
Merry Christmas, Tanner. Of course, man, I want to go to a game before the year is out. We got so much going on, man. We're trying to perfect this show and kind of bring kind of like fine tune everything that we got going on, and try to bring certain things to you. But when we venture out into other things, it's gonna be so amazing. From HBCU life, which we'll be seeing next year. And we're gonna get more into that, but that's gonna be amazing. With some of the work that again, we're gonna be doing with our area high schools and charity work. Man, it just
Hey, maybe a buffoon here and there. Heck yeah. The
of
buffoons
course.
could come through, man. What? Shoot, you could jump on here right now if you wanted to, but we getting ready to go off, Tim. Thanks again, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Jay. Tell them what you're thinking. What you?
But just moving into 24, man, we're gonna be expanding to so many other things, man. Me personally, and Whit could attest to this, that this is new to me. This whole life and creating all of this is very new to me. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got thrown into a situation that, I wanted, but at the same time, man, I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? The work and effort and everything that it takes to put into a podcast. So I respect anybody that does podcasts, been doing podcasts for years, man. That's the platform you gotta uphold. You gotta wake up every morning motivated. You know what I mean? And needless to say, man, everybody here, I appreciate, and like I said, man, I'm just looking forward to I love this podcast. I love everything we got going on. I love the LTS family, but you know me, and you know that how much I love sports and being able to like venture out and do certain things other than just talk about sports, man. I want to, like having a conversation with Mark with Tom Izzo. Something that I to this day, like when I even talk about it, it's weird, while I'm walking alongside, he's going one way, I'm going the other, and I'm like, Coach Izzo. And he turns around, he's like, I know you? And it's like, no, man, you don't know me. He's like, man, yeah, I'm trying to catch somebody, man. So make it quick. I got a game I want to catch. So, what's on your mind? And, just having a conversation from him to Coach Huggins to freaking Patrick Ewing, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man. Like, just the little time that I've spent doing this and following sports one way or the other, whether it's on a big scale as far as a radio show to what I'm doing now, it's been amazing just from the start, to say the least. It's Wick took a picture that I'm still jealous about because Ninth Wonder, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had a conversation with him, but I didn't get a picture because, sad to say, I did not know who Ninth Wonder was. And I'm not trying to, but for somebody of his stature to walk up to me and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, what's your name, man? And I'm like, who is this guy? I'm still lost here. Like, this guy looks familiar. Don't know who he is. What's your name? And I'm like, my name is Jay. I asked Trevor, what's his name? What's your name? He said, my name's Trevor. He was like, yo, I'm Ninth. And I looked at Trevor, was like,
Ninth.
That did not just happen. And I wanted to run him down like I had a bouquet of flowers in a ring for him. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know how to attack that situation. I was like, I missed out. You know what I mean? From the Mark Cuban thing, Trevor, your fault. Anyway, so like just the little time that we spent doing what we're doing and everything that we're doing on the outside, how you've been doing like the marketing work, you know what I'm saying, with your job and everything, and seeing Kyle Brady and everybody you be seeing, like, I'm just looking forward to the interactions, man, with people that we looked up to, you know what I'm saying, that we look up to and thought we'd never be standing in the same room having a small conversation, let alone, you know what I'm saying, a conversation about sports. That's it for me on that one.
Man, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, man. What I'm wishing for Rec Room 2024, man, is more life for everybody. I'm definitely appreciative of everybody that's been chiming in and helping Jay and I put the work in. I'm excited to work with everybody else on their shows. Shout out to Bikins for putting me on Head Kicks and Haymakers. Bill with the Monday night show. I know Jay loves going on the NFC East show. And then of course, just like he said, when we get to doing this expansion and we get to bring more of our style of podcasting to other people, I love the way it's happening organically, and it's going to continue to grow. And 2024, man, is all about bigger and better things, and I can't wait until we get there, and then we can show you what we're talking about. Because now we get into the part where the ball is rolling. You know what I'm saying? And finally, we not like pushing it up the hill. It's kind of going on the other side now. So big shouts out to everybody once again. Hey, just like I mentioned, Bikins and I on Head Kicks and Haymakers on Wednesday. We got NFC East show with Jay and the homies tomorrow. Don't forget, we got basketball and football all Christmas weekend. And if you want to watch a little bit of boxing, we got Saudi Arabia, right? The Radi of Saudi Arabia, Anthony Joshua, Otto Weiland, 12 rounds heavyweight, and Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker, 12 rounds of heavyweight. That's one that they're going to set up somehow, some way for Wilder to fight Joshua. I will be talking about that tomorrow. Jay's going to be showing off his flask for the NFC East, Alcoholics Anonymous show. And we'll be back next year, folks. So keep an eye out, because even if we're not doing Rec Room, we're definitely going to find a way to bring you some more great content. We might just crank back up Hear Me Out for a couple weeks. See how that goes. Get a little head-to-head competition to warm up the soul in 2024. But man, look, we had a great show. We did our thing. This was awesome. And just like we said before,
I wish you had more time.
Man, I'm telling you what it is. So check us out, man. Don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's the home team. It's your boy K Rich, your mama's #1 draft pick. It's Jay on the MIC. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, what else? Facebook, YouTube,
Threads, TikTok, everything.
We gonna be back, man. Appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much. Let's go, Jay. Hit the button.